Hey there, lovely people. This is Sean, and today I'm up at the lovely place again. You know, it kind of occurred to me as I was blowing the leaves off, and you guys saw all that piled up there and how bad it had gotten, that a lot of you who may be new to the channel may not understand exactly what's going on here and why it looked like that and what our vision and our purpose is here at the lovely place. So just a little bit about the background of this place and me and our family. Basically, right when COVID hit, there was already, in my opinion, red flags all over the world that told me that we needed to make our way back to the country. And many of you might be in a situation where you're feeling that way, or you've been feeling that way for quite some time. Unfortunately, unlike a lot of you, I'm starting later in life on this mission. And the mission is simply this: to find a place that was out of the way, that was not near a large metropolitan area or large, heavy populated suburbs, that I could purchase and create a safe haven, create a retreat, but most importantly, a homestead that would allow us to be more self-sufficient than we could ever be in a subdivision near a major town or city. To get out of that population area so that with crime on the rise, or if something really bad in the world or in this country happens and it's a free-for-all and everybody's going after everybody else's stuff, sort of create a fortress so that you're more protected against the mobs or the masses that may come in and attempt to steal or kill and take everything that you've got just for survival. It's amazing what people will do if they're pushed into a position of hunger or the need for shelter or the need for anything that they're needing, that's required for them to survive. And so I wanted to get ahead of that. It may never happen, God forbid it does, and I pray it doesn't, but if it does, I wanted to be in a position where we could be able to take care of our family. So to do that, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of planning, it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of money and time. And we're all at different levels in our life and where we are. Again, if you're younger, you have so much more strength and capability to just work like crazy. The older you get, unfortunately, that starts to kind of dwindle down the graph a little bit, and you don't have as much capability to do the things that you used to be able to do. But it's never too late, and it's never too soon. Sadly, when you don't live at your homestead yet, and again, we're all coming from different spots, but when you're not here every day, it really does limit you on what you can accomplish. For example, gardens. It requires you tending them daily, providing them with water, weeding, doing all sorts of things. So we have our own little gardens, our raised beds and stuff at our house. That's not here at the lovely place, and you may have seen a tidbit of that. And if you have animals, obviously you got to be here to take care of them. You've got to have water supply. You've got to have infrastructure. You've got to have shelters. And so we are starting from, we have already started, and if you go back and if you've not been here and you've not seen the videos of us creating trails all through the property, which really was not a survival need, it's just something that I desperately wanted to be able to enjoy the forest. And we'll talk more about the enjoyment side of this in just a second, but we created all sorts of driveways. We're about 3/4 of a mile back from the road where we enter into the property, and so we had to go through fields, we had to go up hills, we had to include tiles, and I've still got more work to do there that I've mentioned in the past. And we've come through a lot of woods, so the driveway goes back through the woods. We've taken trees down, and it required me to purchase some equipment to do all the things that we've done so far, and there's more to come. one of the first things we did, we of course knew that we needed a tractor. And my thinking, you know, I was raised as a young guy, as a kid, going to my mama and papa's house every Sunday after church, and we'd go out there, and my dad was one of their sons. They had a total of 14 children in their family, and they grew up on a tobacco farm. And then, of course, they had all kinds of livestock as well that they took care of and they lived from. And they had a spring off of the mountain. And the water to this day in that house that one of the sons actually owns is all provided by that spring. And sadly, we don't have that we found yet, we don't have a spring that we can tap into. And I'll tell you a little bit more in a moment about what we're doing for water. But I grew up loving the country and being able to be a part of it every Sunday, you know, and going out there and ice skating in the wintertime on the ponds, on the frozen ponds, just with shoes, not ice skates. So we're just slipping and sliding, going down to the creek, catching crawdads, and just hiking the mountains and enjoying nature, building forts, just living it up, seeing the chickens and playing with the sheep, and didn't do a lot of the horse riding. They saved that for the adults, but got to enjoy being around some horses. And it was just a part of life, and that's, in my opinion, one of the most important things that a child can experience is the country and nature and real life when it comes to nature, the woods, and what it takes to be a part of that. So I wanted to, this was another reason for having the lovely place, is so that the grandchildren could taste that. They could, let's say all goes well in this world, but we never have an emergency. We never have the need for what I described a minute ago. But at the very least, we've got a place that the children, the grandchildren, can come and enjoy nature and see God provide through growth in gardens and growth of the animals and the water that we're going to be getting and in the way we're going to be getting it, and just complete self-sufficiency. There's nothing that's self-sufficient when you rely on God. We all know that He's going to take care of our needs. Now, the terrible thing is, and the reality is that there are people in this world, including me or you, that any day may feel like our needs are not taken care of, or may feel like we're abandoned. And I'll just say, keep the faith, and know that the birds of the air are taken care of. And how much more are we to God than those birds? I think those birds are very important to Him, and I think we are too. But He gives us free will, and He gives us the ability to work and the knowledge that we need to do something. So today I just simply wanted to talk to you about what we are doing, why things are not progressing as quickly as we'd like them to progress, because we have other things in life that we're dealing with. And so the sooner we can make this happen, the better. The goal is to move away from the city, from the suburbs, and be down here permanently. And we are going to be completely self-sufficient or completely off-grid. Fix this, got the wind blowing on this box here. And so what I mean by completely off-grid is we will rely on a propane tank for certain needs, but it won't be a requirement to survive by any means, but it'll be a convenience. And propane is as you know, it's going up in cost, and it may not always be accessible to us, so we can't rely on it. And in my opinion, I don't want this place to be relying on the grid, on city water or county water, on the electricity. I've got electricity and water capability at the road, 3/4 of a mile away, so you can imagine the expense to get it back here. But it wasn't just the expense that deterred me from doing that, it was the idea of self-sufficiency. And so what we are going to be doing, and I'll be showing you this soon, we have purchased rain harvesting water tanks, 2 1,550 gallon tanks that will be plumbing into the gutter system here on the pole barn, bringing it down, pumping it into the house where we've already done the plumbing, as you may have seen in the previous video, and supplying the kitchen sink, the toilet, which we'll be putting a septic tank in out here, the shower, and all other water needs. We are going to be introducing you to a filtration system that we are going to be utilizing for our drinking water, and we're going to be purchasing a filtration system that we can use to install after the tanks and prior to coming into the barn. So if you guys know of a good filtration system that I just referred to, I'd love for you to hit me up in the comments and tell me what your best thoughts are, on those options, the best options for that. So unfortunately, we've had a summer this year of almost no rain. And I wanted to also tell you this. You may know that we have a creek that runs the entire length of this property. Last year was the first summer that we owned the property, and the creek went dry in July and most of August. And then it filled back up again, and we were great. Unfortunately, this year, the creek went dry early July, maybe even late June, and it's still dry as a bone, and tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And so that tells you a lot about what kind of a drought condition that we're in, and it really does concern me for rain harvesting. So our backup plan, and this is also concerning, is to dig a well. And my third backup plan is, so yeah, there is city water available. I believe it would be smart for me to utilize it as long as it's running, and potentially purchase a tap into the main line and maybe just run it in a few feet, if nothing else, so I can go out there and retrieve water if we need it and put it in the tanks. That would be a last resort, and I really don't want to even do that, but if it comes down to it, that's an option for us. As far as electricity is concerned, we are going to be fully off-grid, fully solar. And so you're going to be seeing in the near future the full solar installation of all the panels that we're going to put out there in the field in the right position, in the right angle, running the PV line, and we're looking at maybe up to 800 feet of line going from the panels all the way up here, which means we will have a voltage drop, but hoping that it's not going to be too severe of a drop compared to what our needs are going to be. Then you're going to see our inverters that we've purchased, and then the awesome battery packs. We've got some massive batteries that we're going to be able to fully take care of our electrical needs in this barn. And if you don't know by now, the front of the barn we're finishing out so that when we are up here, we can have a place that we can comfortably take care of cleaning up things, cooking things, showering, restroom, all that good stuff, and camping if necessary, and as often as possible. And so it's not a living space, but it's going to be a very sweet barn with some lofts and stuff like that. And there's previous videos of the whole pole barn build, and the framing, the electrical rough in, the plumbing rough in, all the concrete, which I've got some cracks on the exterior concrete. Thank God nothing on the interior yet is cracked up. But yeah, lots to do. We want to put a pond out, a big pond right here in front of where the house and the barn is going to be looking over, out through the field, out toward the mountains or the hills. We want to fence the whole area. I've got to get a gate up. We've got a lot of Reolink Go PT cameras all around the property. I just ordered 3 more of a newer camera that they've got. It's called a Keen, and it's camouflaged. It does everything that these Reolink Go PTs do and more. And we've got several more of those coming right now. What's great about those cameras and these is that they don't run on batteries. You have a solar panel with it, and they also don't require Wi-Fi. They run on a I can't remember, 4T or whatever. Look it up. I'll get that for you. I'll create a video, by the way, that will come soon on the channel of these Keen cameras. I'll give you all the detail. I'll show you the installation and the unboxing and how they work. But they run on cellular. And so what we do is we go to a cellular service, T-Mobile, and for each camera, we put it on an automatic payment plan. We just purchase a SIM card. We pay $5 per month per camera that has a SIM card in it, and they auto draft that. That's what decreases it down to $5 a month. So worth it. I can't tell you all of the wildlife that I've got to enjoy, and especially since I'm not here all the time, if anyone crosses the road and comes up the driveway, it's notifying me in real time as they come through at different points. If they come through the woods, I'm going to see them, and then with these new cameras it's going to be even more. So unfortunately, we've had to deal with that a few times. I can't say enough about my sheriff's department and how quick they respond with deputies, and they're so friendly and nice. In fact, the last phone call I had with them, I told them that my wife and I are about to bring them a bunch of donuts. In fact, I may want to do that today. You know, we all like donuts, especially police officers, right? And we found a great donut shop here locally. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on what we're doing and why we're doing it. I'm not sure that I shared everything. We've got so much more to do. It's just going to be a lifelong passion, a lifelong job, and it's not easy, but I think it's one of the most important things that we can do for our family. And if nothing else, my goal is to live out here and enjoy this peace and this serenity, and hopefully when the time comes, we can just be here at peace, enjoying the last bits of life. And so I just wanted to share that with you. And you know, this YouTube channel that I've created, the only reason it exists is because, I'm gonna fix this again here. The only reason it exists is because I tapped into YouTube when I was looking to buy the property, because, and that's something I wanted to share with you. Yeah, I grew up going out in the country, but I didn't have my own farm. I didn't have my own tractor. I didn't have my own horse. I didn't have any of this stuff. I went into the military. I was in the Air Force. And after the Air Force, I started a little business. And that's all I've been doing my whole life. And it's funny, if you're in the normal world, what they call the normal world now, this is actually the normal world, but if you're in the normal world, you're chasing the next dollar, you're chasing the next account, you're trying to keep your accounts, you're trying to pay your bills, you're trying to make sure that there's enough income coming in, and after taxes, after all the expenses, that you have money left over so that you can take care of your family. Maybe you can go on a vacation. Maybe you can buy some extra stuff so that you can keep doing those things, get another vehicle so that you can go back to work and you can take care of your clients and so on. And what happens is we forget about, you know, all of the important things in life, and we forget that all of that could stop on a dime, and we could be in a position where, number one, we don't have the income anymore, or number two, the supply chain's not available. We could have all the income in the world, we could have piles of money in the bank, but who's to say we could even get it out, you know, or if it's worth anything. I mean, you guys see it, you know what's going on. And so we need to be able to grow food. We need to be able to provide ourselves with water. We need to be able to have the means to heat and cool, and to take care of basic necessities and cook and have meat and have vegetables and so on. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and share with you one of the things that brought me up here to the lovely place today, and that is we have a wood stove. Actually, we've got more than one wood stove, and when I say a wood stove, I mean a wood burning heat stove. It's not necessarily a cook stove, but it's a wood stove. And this barn's so small that it doesn't require a lot to heat it, and so one of the smaller ones we could find was designed to take care of 1,200 square feet. We actually have less than that, so we might need the windows to be open with this thing. But what's interesting is, yeah, I've got two wood stoves now. So a little background on this. We ordered it's a United States stove, US stove company, and from what I understand, they are out of Tennessee. However, I believe they're made in China. I think everything is made in China. That's another thing. Stock up on stock up on supplies. Stock up on food if you're at home. You know, canned foods will last quite a while, and you can rotate those out, you know. Like I said, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. We didn't go shopping for all of our canned veggies. We had lots of those in storage, and so we just tapped into them, and then we can replace them and, you know, keep those another year or two. They last a long time. Look at the dates on them. And so anyhow, yeah, our pharmaceuticals are made in China, and you're gonna need to have pharmaceuticals. I mean, there's the possibility that we might, you know, you've seen the supply chain concerns. There's a possibility that we're going to be in trouble. So I would have a lot of ibuprofen on hand. I wish we could stock up on antibiotics. I think there are some ways to do that. Again, comment if you've got some information about that. I'd love to share that with all the other viewers. But I know I've seen ways that you can order antibiotics. Anyhow, this wood stove is designed to serve 1,200 square feet. And we ordered it through Ace Hardware, and got a pretty good deal on it compared to some of the other locations that distributed it. And it was going to be a couple weeks before it came in. So you're probably like me, and when you buy something, you start researching the deal. I had been looking on Facebook Marketplace for a long time to see if I could find a wood stove that was in new light condition or in good condition. And lo and behold, within, I don't know, a week at the most, after I ordered this one, I came across an identical Ashley 1,200 square foot wood stove, U.S. stove company out of Tennessee, that a man purchased about 1.5 years ago, and it was still in his living room in the corner, never had put pipes on it. The instruction manual was still inside the door, and even the ashtray had not been inserted in the drawer. And so it was brand new. It just looked a little different, same style, or same kind, but just had a different style. And it was a great price. So guess what I did? Yeah, I called him. I lined up a day to go out and look at it, and I bought it. And the reason I did that is because where I'm putting my money these days is in anything that can be of benefit for sustainability. And you know, we're going to have more than just this one barn. We're going to have a shop. I'm going to have a home out here. We're going to have other buildings, maybe even a couple cabins here and there down by the creek or off the side of the mountain. And you know, I'm going to need another wood stove eventually. But if I ever need to turn that into cash, guess what? Wood stoves are going to sell. And they're hard to come by at times. I had to wait, like I said, before I ordered this one from Ace Hardware. I had went back to their website every day for a few weeks before they even had it in the local warehouse that I could actually order it and get that discount and not pay shipping. So yeah, they're not the easiest thing to get your hands on. So we got 2 of them, and I'm going to show you those. So let's go take a look. All right, so here we are in the pole barn, and just last week, that's when we went and purchased this used but new Ashley 1,200 square foot wood stove, and check it out. So I was not kidding, was I? This thing is new. It's 1.5 years old, but it's a brand new wood stove. I tell you, I looked all over YouTube to get some good visuals of this particular stove, because it's available at different stores like Home Depot, Ace Hardware. Yeah, so check it out. It's not got a lot of surface that you can cook on, but I would say that there's some good space on each side of where the pipe's going to go. Haven't got my pipe yet. That's going to come next. So as I told you, this thing, the instructions still in here. So yeah, here are the 2 different styles of this particular stove. And the one that I ordered brand new is the one with the pedestal. And this one, of course, has the 4 legs. They look a little bit different up here at the top, but very similar. Got my brick in there. Some few parts. And then down here is where the ash tray is. Like I said, I inserted that. It was up inside the box here. but yeah, never had a fire lit in it. So we're going to be installing one of these in the we'll call it the tiny house, even though it's not an actual living space, but it's going to look like a tiny house. It's going to be really cool. But yeah, this thing's not very large. I'll get you the measurements on this in just a second, and you're going to get to see the full installation on an upcoming video of either this one or the other one. I'd like your opinion on which one should go in here. What do you guys like the most? The one with the legs or the pedestal? Let's get the other one and let's get it opened up. Check it out. I'll bring it in here and then we'll look at it. Comes in a nice little crate. We need to take this thing apart, remove a few screws, and I believe I can pull this right off the top. So let's do that. Let's see if this will do it. Yes. And now for the unveiling. Let's check it out together here. All right. Oh wow, that is pretty. So I didn't realize it had this kind of brass. I believe that's brass, or is that silver? Kind of a goldish color on here. All right. Okay, we'll have to get this off. There we go. Looks a lot like that one. Of course, it's on this little pallet, and so at the moment it looks taller, but let's get a measurement of these. Let's go ahead and let's put the ashtray. See, that one had this same exact bag, same style ashtray in it, and had never even been put in here. So looks a little bit different. So what I think is the case with both of these is there is no damper, or dampener, whatever that's called, but basically that lets air in or out. I think I'm gonna have to put that in the pipe for this particular model. But yeah, this thing looks pretty nice to me. A couple of specks of paint that they put here where there must have been a nick that they filled in. I did notice a couple of pits on this one, but that's not the kind of stuff I'm worried about when it comes to warming up my place. Overall, this is a beautiful piece, and yeah, you're seeing the same instructions with each of these, or at least very similar. So I'll put one on one side and one on the other. Let's compare these. So this says, this is the used one I got. It's the 1100 series. And this says the 1120 series. It shows both, the same pictures on both of these. Looking at a different language on this one. Anyhow, this looks like it's got these metal little springy looking handles, where this one has the solid wooden handle. But we're looking at the same stove, guys. And what I want your opinion. I think we already know our thoughts on what we want to do in this particular building, but I would love your thoughts. So I'm going to take it down, I'm going to set them side by side, and we're going to get some measurements for you. I thought it would be smarter, instead of taking the pallet out from under the stove, that I should raise the other one up to the same height so we could get a good look at them both. So that's what I've done, because I am going to be moving these around, so it's going to be important that I'll be able to access or just slide it around instead of and having a safe place under this one, at least, that I can put the wheel dolly. But I want to open this up. I want to pull these out so you're not seeing the reflection of the white instruction booklet, and let you see both of these for what they are. Okay, so let's get a good close-up of this guy. Oh yeah, so that's the pedestal, and that's the brand new one. And I discovered something when I was putting these up on the blocks over here, and that is there is a damper or dampener on both of these. Tell me what that word is. I should Google it and I should look it up. But it's also, I'm assuming it's where the ashes are. You open the bottom to dump the ashes, but and when you open the ash tray, pull it out, and you feel up under there, you can feel there's a little space that slides side to side when you move it in and out. And of course back there is an air intake that we will take outside. And so this is the same on both units. Over here on the one with the legs, you have a little black handle. Does the exact same thing, opens the same area inside the bottom up under the ash pan, or above the ash pan. And so, yeah, that's really good news to me, because I was concerned about getting the right type of air flow coming in. Of course, I do want to do a little more research before we install these, or this one, and you know, make sure that we do everything exactly the way it needs to be done. So tell me, we're going to call this one A and this one B. And so, should we install the wood burning stove A with the pedestal into the little tiny house, or should we install B, which has the 4 legs? So this is more of a traditional look. This is more of a modern look. I can tell you, and I'll tell you later. I want to see the comments first, but I'll tell you later, or you'll see it later when we actually install one of these, which one my wife and I have chosen to go with. But let me give you the measurements of these guys, and you'll see how big they are in case you're interested in a small stove yourself. And let's see if they're exactly the same. So we'll start here with the brand new one, A. We got 22.5 inches wide, and from the very back, we are, pop it back up over there, we're about 19 inches deep, approximately. Don't have a great spot to hold on, but yeah, we're at 19 inches. If you're looking at it right above, I believe, maybe it's 18.5. And then on this one, we are the same 18.5, 19 inches out. And as far as the width, we are at 22 and a little bit less than a half. So this looks like it's about, so what, about 7/16, 22 and 7/16. Is that what we've actually got here? Yep, it's the same. It is the same. As far as height, these are the same. They are the same height. We're about 29.25 in the height, and that's on both of them. So, yeah, I'm excited about these and look forward to getting these in. We've had some really cold nights lately, and it would be nice if these were already in. Obviously, we have not yet insulated. That's going to be coming very soon, but I think I should get these in even before insulation. I've seen a lot of people do that. And again, this is a small building. It's 26 by 30. This is fit for a 1,200 square foot building, so I believe that it will heat it pretty good even without insulation, especially if you're up in the loft. Now, the position that we are planning to put the stove at the moment is over here in this corner. That was originally going to be our you know, little tiny living space. We're not gonna have a lot of room for like sofas, chairs, things like that, but it's not like we're gonna be up here living. But we are going to have some sort of a, over here, some sort of a pull-out bed. I don't know what they call it, a trundle bed or something like that, so that it can serve hopefully as a sofa and a bed. And then we'll have a bar here or an island with some nice stools around it in the center of where the kitchen's going to be. Lots to do, lots of fun, and you know, it would be an honor for us if you guys would consider subscribing to our channel. You can go check out all the previous videos. There's a lot of them because this place was barren before as far as, you know, any infrastructure whatsoever, and we've done quite a bit. We've got so much more to come, and we'd love for you to be a part of helping us make this beautiful land into the lovely place that we already know that it is. But gosh, we've got so much to do, and it's so beautiful. It's going to be a really, really great place to be, and we want you to come along with us. So thank you for watching today. If you liked the video and you want to know more, see more, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time here at the lovely place.